Guys, welcome back to TNA 2010 Throwback. And we are actually post Sacrifice, the pay-per-view in May. It's May 20th in the game, so let's review what happened at the pay-per-view before we move on to the show. So, Kazarian retained the title after defeating Eric Young via the Flux Capacitor. Robbie E cheated to beat Zack Ryder. Taro defeated Awesome Kong to retain via small package. RVD defeated Scott Steiner in a Kiss My Ass match, so we'll try to do this segment on the show. Jeff Hardy defeated the Angel of Dinero to become the global champion. Beer Money defeated the Guns to retain the World Tag Team titles in a ladder match that got 5 stars. Anderson defeated Joe via mic check after cheating. After hitting him with a low blow. This is important because this will play into the storyline that we're going to develop on the show. And Sting defeated Angle and AJ Styles in a 3-way, and he pinned AJ via the dead drop. So we got pretty good ratings on the show. We got pretty good matches. So now we're on the road to Slammiversary, which is the next pay-per-view in June. But now we'll start the show, of course, with a mandatory triple threat. A dark match. You know how I'm doing the shows, you know my style. The first segment is always a recap of the previous week, so we gotta put something here so it will we gotta put a match here that will just it will fill out the requirement of the minimum of 4 matches. We're gonna have 6 matches on the show, so we'll have to put another dark match on the next show. So now we'll have the first segment of the show, and it's gonna open. Let's see. It's gonna open with a confrontation between Anderson and Joe. Then we're gonna have the interview with Kurt. Let me just book the segment and I will explain the idea, because I can't really think and talk about the show and book the show at the same time, because I'm actually looking at the show on my phone in order to book it. So the show is gonna open with Anderson, who is a number 1 contender, so he's gotta face Sting in the next pay-per-view. But Joe is going to interrupt, and Joe is going to complain that Anderson is pretty much cheating to win because Anderson used a low blow. But then Angle is going to come out, and he's going to say he got screwed because at the pay-per-view, Angle actually didn't get pinned. And for the sake of the storyline, we're going to say that Flair attacked Angle. And this was the last-ditch effort for Flair to kind of help Styles. But at the end of the day, Flair messed up again, and Styles lost his last shot at the world title by pretty much getting pinned by Sting. So we now have a 3-way confrontation between Angle, Joe, and Anderson. Anderson is the rightful number 1 contender, but Joe is challenging this, and Angle also. So what we're gonna have on the show is we're gonna have Bischoff come out, and he's gonna revoke Anderson's win from the pay-per-view, because Anderson, I know if you cheat to win, it doesn't really have to be reversed because this is wrestling, but for the sake of the storyline of the show, we're gonna have Bischoff revoking Anderson's contendership, and Bischoff is gonna book Angle versus Joe versus Anderson in a 3-way for tonight, who's gonna determine the real number 1 contender for Sting at Slammiversary. I just thought it would be exciting to run another big match on the show, so we're gonna prolong the storyline. So this is logical because Angle always wanted to have a title shot, but every time he got one, he's screwed by some outside circumstances or interferences. So Angle is always, up for a title shot. Joe was in the contendership match and got pinned by a low blow, and Anderson is the rightful #1 contender. So on this show, the purpose is to find the real #1 contender for Sting's title. This will happen at the end of the main event. So now we're gonna have a tag team match. It's gonna be a non-title match. Beer Money are gonna win. They're gonna beat Inc. But after the match, we're gonna have the Generation Me pretty much attack Beer Money, or run to save. After the match, Beer Money are gonna do a beatdown, but Generation Me are gonna run down and they're gonna help Inc. by saving them from the beatdown, and this is gonna be building up to the next program I have planned for the tag titles. Now we're gonna have an ambush, but we're gonna have a save. The victim is gonna be, let's say, Brother Ray. The distraction will be from the Sheik. We're continuing the storyline. Abyss is now formerly aligned with the World Elite, so they'll attack Team 3D. We just can't do a 3-on-2 attack, so we're having 3-on-1 attack. And the purpose of this segment is gonna be Jeff Jarrett will run in and make the save. So we're pulling in Jeff Jarrett because World Elite is right now consisted in 4 people, while the faces are only 3. So we need Jeff Jarrett to make the 3. Now we'll have a Zack Ryder will bash Robbie E, because Zack Ryder, as you just see, lost to him at the pay-per-view via a cheap shot. So we're gonna say Zack is gonna trash Robbie E because of his lack of honor and shit like this. Of course, we're gonna prolong the storyline. If you follow the series, you'll know that I prefer to have slow build to my storylines, because we're dealing with a limited roster. I don't want to steal a lot of people from WWE and make the game super unrealistic. The point here is to book the wrestlers who were in TNA back in 2010. And book them pretty much as I like them to be booked, but the purpose is not to make the game some sort of a WWE light. The purpose is to make it a TNA game. A lot of people, when they play EWR, they just sign all the stars and wonder why the game is boring. If someone good is available from WWE, I'm gonna pick them up, but this is not the case right now. So we're just gonna deal with our own roster and book our own shows. So what you saw was Matt Morgan is pretty much gonna cut the promo on Hernandez. He's gonna say he's not done with him. The feud is still on. I'm gonna probably do a blow off soon. The problem is I don't have really plans for Morgan after this feud, so we're gonna prolong the feud. Now we're gonna have Austin Aries warming up for his match, and next we're gonna have Austin Aries taking on Jeff Hardy in a non-title match. Because, you know, Jeff Hardy became the global champion. Actually, okay, it's gonna be a non-title. Jeff is gonna win, of course, an interference by Chris Daniels. If you follow the show, Chris is feuding with Aries. Aries just came to the show, and Chris is putting him on notice, so he's trying to interfere. He's trying to mess in his business. 95% on the Angle interview, 75% on the announcement. Beer Money and Thinking got a good rating. Abyss lost overness, which is not good for this attack. Actually, Dinero and Ryder had a good match. Austin Aries gained overness and 80% for their match. So let's move on to the show. Now we're gonna have a triple threat match for the X Division title with no belt. Eric Young, the Champ Kazarian, and Jay Lethal. Why? Because I'm trying to establish some kind of dominance from Kazarian onto the X Division. And we are only gonna get this if he goes over a lot of the contenders. I have a big feud planned for the X Division who is gonna start soon, but you're gonna wait and see. So now we're gonna have Sting. Sting is pretty much gonna deflect the comments. He's not gonna want to talk about Kurt because Kurt and Sting respect each other, but they're right now in some form of a respectful rivalry, and they don't want to really hurt each other's feelings. So Sting is gonna watch the main event tonight because tonight is gonna determine the new #1 contender. Right now we're gonna have a women's match, but this is gonna be a segment. This is not gonna be a match, but because we'll need to cover the requirement of 4 matches. So we're just gonna book a random women's match on the show. Then we're gonna turn it into a segment later. Now we have the Gunner match. I have plans for Gunner, but it will be after Slammiversary. So until Slammiversary, he's just gonna win squash matches. I think it's gonna be up to like 8, because I started doing squash matches for Gunner after the Lockdown pay-per-view, I think. So I got big plans for Gunner after the Slammiversary show. So it's a call out. By who? RVD is gonna call out Scott Steiner. He's gonna pretty much ask him when he's gonna kiss his ass. Because in the pay-per-view, Scott Steiner lost the Kiss My Ass match. So the next angle is gonna be, of course, an ambush angle. Scott Steiner is gonna say that he's not gonna be kissing personally RVD's ass, but he has a friend that is gonna kiss his ass. So Pete Williams is gonna come out, but it's gonna be a swerve. Nobody's gonna kiss anybody's ass. They're just gonna beat RVD after, just before Williams kisses his ass. They're just gonna assault him. I will prolong the storyline 1 more month because I think it's gonna be entertaining. If you pretty much imagine the segments I'm booking, I think it's gonna be entertaining. So And after after Slammiversary, I have plans for RVD. So Awesome Kong is gonna beat ODB in a decisive fashion. It's pretty much gonna send a message to Tara. As you can guess, they will have a rematch in the next pay-per-view. Again, I forgot to turn Flair. So this segment, the point of this is gonna be Ric Flair turning face because Styles is gonna attack him and he's gonna blame him. This is the full turn. This is what I've been building the last few weeks. Styles will call out Flair, they will trade insults. AJ is gonna pretend to be nice to him, but then Styles is gonna pretty much disrespect him, probably spit in his face and beat him down. So Styles is gonna turn on Flair. He's gonna be alone after this. He's gonna be on his own, and pretty much I'll probably do a match between them, but we'll see after the show. But this is the full turn. This is what I've been building the last few weeks. The last few weeks, Flair has been fucking up. He's been doing stuff that has not been very likable to Styles. So we'll see what will happen in this feud. So right now we have Styles turning Flair turning face when Styles viciously attacked him. So we'll see what happens next. Of course, in the main event, Anderson is gonna win. He's gonna win clean, but yeah, let's say it's a hype video. It's gonna be the graphic for the Anderson and Sting match. So the idea here in the main event is gonna be Angle is gonna beat Joe pretty much, and Anderson just gonna steal the pin. So Anderson is the rightful contender. I wanted to do Anderson and Sting a long time ago. This is just a reinforcement. And this is just gonna be confirming that Anderson is facing Sting. But we are not done with Angle. We're gonna see what will happen onto the next show. But we just saw Angle just lost his chance to become the #1 contender. And post-match he's gonna be furious. He's gonna be cursing Anderson, but he doesn't have anything to do about it. So the X Division title gained image. Let's see something notable on the show. RVD 73. AJ gained overness. So this show got a good rating. So this is gonna be for this episode. This is the Sacrifice post show. Next episode will be, we're gonna be 3 weeks from Sacrifice, and we're from Slammiversary. I'm sorry. So we'll see what will happen. Till next time.